patriotic display on Main Street, with the US Constitution hanging from the city lights. It's nothing unusual here in Williamson County, a place best described as ultra-conservative. In this Nashville suburb, more than 70% of people voted for Republicans in the last presidential election. The county's rated the most conservative in the country and one of the most enthusiastic for Mitt Romney's campaign. We spend a weekend there among these staunchly right-wing voters. It's Friday evening and school's just finished.
Okay. Hey! Hi! How was your day?
2 Republican voters, Brandy and Robert. 2 children, 2 incomes, 2 cars. This family representative of a nation worried by unemployment, the deficit and the economic crisis.
We don't spend money on things that we don't feel like we necessarily need. We try to put money back and save it for a rainy day.
Which is why we're able to not panic when all of this stuff, you know.
It's worked well for us, and I guess basically we would like to see the government spend money in the same fashion.
This evening, the 2 presidential candidates are head-to-head on television. For these moderate Republican voters, Mitt Romney embodies competence and the hope of seeing the economy thrive once more.
Don't build these massive deficits that pass debt on to our kids. Rebuild the foundation of America's strength with great homes, great schools.
That sounds good. Yeah, I like that too.
These voters fear a bankrupt country, often making the comparison with Greece. They believe Obama's plan is wrong because it relies on government spending.
Each election we're moving, in our opinion, we're moving more towards socialism, and America is a capitalist country.
And our understanding of socialism is the government provides everything for you, and our country was built on you go out and you make what you have. You make what you want.
Every morning, Tremaine Jameson's the first to arrive at Nashville Republican HQ. Her job, to find and train new volunteers.
You better be wearing it.
She compares this election to a war, and these housewives and retirees are her soldiers. In this state, reliably Republican, the battle's already won. But the troops stay mobilized.
They need that pile on your side, but I have no way of coming down again. We're calling swing states, and the State Department has given us Cleveland, Ohio.
Ohio, where Obama and Romney are running neck and neck. It's a pivotal state that could decide which candidate wins the White House.
That's a good one.
And the Republicans are bringing in people like Tremaine to try and secure victory.
When they answer and says, please leave a message at the end of the beep. And as soon as I hear that, I push Romney's voice message, it's recorded, and I move on. Really cool, isn't it?
Her targets, undecided voters and those who feel let down by Obama.
Are you planning on supporting the Republican candidates in the fall election? Not really. No way? What are the issues that are concerned to you? Democrats are just as strong in their belief as Republicans are in their belief. But when you really get somebody and you say, but why? Why are you really voting for that direction? Do you like the $16 trillion debt that's left on Americans' head? It starts making them think that there is a reality to it.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
The other major issue of the campaign, health insurance.
See ya. I gotta run.
Republicans want to limit government involvement in providing care to the poor and elderly, with a larger role for private insurers. Obama's controversial reforms extended government's hand. It's an issue that bothers Tremaine, even when she goes home for the evening.
We need to balance the budget, and the way we need to do that is cut in some of these programs that people don't pay anything, they get the money for. Obamacare is medicines for everybody. Nobody is left out. Well, who pays for everybody? No,
to help pay for her retirement, Tremaine rents out 4 houses she bought and renovated. In a country where self-sufficiency is considered a virtue, She says she doesn't want to subsidise people who made bad economic decisions before the crisis.
You know, some people have lost their job and were not able to pay for those mortgages. However, the country did a very bad job of giving out Freddie Mae and loans and things to people who did not qualify for loans, people who could not afford loans, and they bought houses that were way more expensive than they needed to. And so that caused the collapse in the housing market.
Go swing, Carly.
Among Williamson County Republicans, there are many who think the government doesn't need to interfere with the economy and private sector. 33-year-old Joey Fuller is a nurse and the father of 3 children.
Although I have participated in the Republican Party in the past, I have the heart of a libertarian, which means basically very, very small government out of your business. And when it comes to civil liberty issues, like you just mentioned, you know, homosexual marriage and all that, I believe the government should have nothing to do with it. So there's no one really in Washington that represents people like me, and that's the challenging part of what I do.
Joey's a confirmed libertarian, permissive on social issues, conservative on economic ones. He's for the decriminalisation of marijuana, against higher taxes for social programmes. Joey says the economic downturn has hit him too. For Joey, the crisis has one big culprit, the Federal Reserve.
It is reassuring to know that there are protests like this going all across America.
This Saturday afternoon in the quiet streets of Nashville, Joey and his fellow libertarians demonstrate against the American bailout of banks and financial institutions.
They gave $700 billion of my money, your money, your kids' money, and your grandkids' money to failed big banks and insurance companies. That really upset me. And it should upset you, because that's big government at its worst.
These people voted for Ron Paul, who lost to Romney in the Republican primaries. Some of them are now going to vote for Mitt Romney, albeit reluctantly. But all this hasn't stemmed their enthusiasm for the libertarian cause.
Hey, come y'all want to crowd around him? May you rot, burn in hell.
Joey's using the internet to spread the word, and after the meeting he goes to friend Matt's house to edit and broadcast clips. More than 1 million people have seen their material. One of their favourite issues, the protection of individual liberties, like the right to bear arms.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, it is a nice one.
Did you do that? The custom?
Yeah, I wrapped that myself.
To protect my wife and my 3 children. That's the most important thing right there. And just to exercise my natural right. It's my natural right to defend myself. So whenever you have natural rights, whether it's freedom of speech or freedom of religion, it's good to exercise those. Otherwise, if you don't exercise things, they atrophy and you lose those rights.
Nashville, capital of country music, capital of a conservative state. Republicans with different income levels and different political views. But they all have one belief in common. America would be better off with a less powerful federal government. Sunday morning, and one of Williamson County's many rich neighborhoods is waking up. In one of these grand homes lives dentist Lee. He invites us to church to help us learn about American moral values. Values which he says most people here share.
It's nearly traffic jam.
It is. Yeah. Several thousand people go to church here. We like it. It's a good church.
It's community.
With a car park as vast as a shopping mall's, this is one of the biggest churches in the county. It welcomes 5,000 worshippers every Sunday, and many more watch from home on the internet. That's where this footage came from. They wouldn't allow us inside with our cameras for fear of being caught up in coverage of US politics.
Bernadette! Come in. Hi, sweetheart.
After Mass, Lee invites a friend from the congregation for lunch.
Hi. Honey, I'm showing your Oval Office.
People like these are one of many reasons the Republican parties move further to the right. They're members of the Tea Party movement. Lee was able to recruit 2,000 people around Nashville into his group, which they see as part of a larger grassroots effort. The slogan on the flag summing up their devotion to strong American values.
On your hands and your ass.
God, I thank you for loving us, for saving us. Amen. Great. Bon appetit.
After a rapid rise in the last few years, the Tea Party's become an important wing of the Republican movement.
That Paul Ryan,
Do you like Paul Ryan? I do too.
I think he's an incredible
Romney has impressed me as well.
No. 60 or 70% of Americans are conservative, but they've been silent. There are good people in America that love what the Tea Party is doing because we're speaking up for them. But in the parties, particularly in the Republican Party, they don't like us. The establishment doesn't like us because we threaten their power base.
The Tea Party succeeded in pushing some of its favourite issues into this presidential campaign.
Mind hacks money is going to pay for somebody else who wants to sit on their couch and say they can't work or they don't want to take a job that's beneath them, then I'm not okay with that.
Later in the afternoon, we meet Lee at a baseball field where he's rooting for his grandson. He tells us about freedom, individualism, things he says have made America great.
That is incredible. I saw your hit. It was a great hit. As a nation, we've been sleeping. We don't know what our representatives and our senators have been doing, and suddenly people are awake. And they're awake because, and I'm grateful for Barack Obama being elected, it alerted us to how deteriorated we have become.
Lee's not alone. During our visit to Tennessee, we heard from conservative voters that the last 4 years have scared into action. They're bent on a change of government. They'll be voting for Mitt Romney, but more importantly, emphatically against Barack Obama.